Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajase Sunantu Saggamokkadam Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Good morning, everyone. Yesterday at the temple, we had the weekly Dhamma talk at 6:30 in the evening, and I selected the topic from Dhammapada, Chittavagga. When you hear the word Chitta, you know that it is the mind, it is the thought, it is the emotions. Chitta represent all these three English words. So yesterday we picked a Dhammapada verse, number 3 of the Chittavagga. Sududdasang sunipunang yattha kama nipatinang chittang rakheta medavi chittang guttang sukhavaham. This is the gatha that I recited yesterday for the Dhamma talk in the evening. I found that there was no enough time to completely elaborate the major points. Plus, today audience is the people who have observed precepts. I thought today is a good day to talk more about what we talked yesterday. That is about the mind and the importance of protecting the mind. And when you observe Sil precept, our purpose is to be aware of the mind that controls the body. Mind always tell the body to do things, and the body does it. It is including verbal actions and the physical actions. Verbal actions means things you say. It is all formed in the mind first, and then it come out of the mouth then. So you feel like, okay, now it's the time to smoke a cigarette. The mind tells you, and then you pick up the smoke and you smoke, including drinking and all the other things that are harmful to yourself and harmful to others. You do because your mind tells you to do. And mind guides you to do. So that is what the Sil is all about. So today, even when we have observed precept, it is important to know, precept means refining the verbal action and the physical action. But the verbal action and the physical action are governed by mental action. So it is good to know the mind, about the mind. In this Gatha, what the Buddha was saying is Sududdasam. Dasa is to see, Duddasa is difficult to see. Sududdasam means extremely difficult to see. Duddasam, Sududdasam, extremely difficult to see. What does this mean? You can easily see things around you, material things, very easy to see. I see many items in front of me, like microphone is here, and then the camera is here, and Buddha image is here, and door is there in the front of me, and then other side there's another door. I can see all these things. Easy. Just look at it and then I see. But how do you see what is going on in the mind? How the mind is behaving? That you have to see through your own mind. Mind can be seen not by eye, but by mind itself. Can we do it? Yes. Why? Mind has or brain has a separate section that you can cultivate, make it sharp, make it active well. When that part of the mind is cultivated and active, that part of the mind, that little small part of the mind, it's called sati, can observe the other part of the mind and watch what the other part of the mind is doing, which is extremely important because mind is the one that controls everything in your life. Therefore, it is very important to know. Now, Sududdasang, very difficult to see. Sunipunang, extremely subtle. Su means extremely subtle. That means if there are very subtle things in this room, I said there's a microphone. It's not too subtle, it's standing out. I said there's a microphone, there's a camera, and there's the windows and doors and Buddha images. They're not that subtle. But if you see some minute thing on the table or in the corner of the room, something very small, you may not see it because you are busy with so many other things, or the major things are standing out, and therefore you have no opportunity to see the minute things. That means you need extra focus and extra attention to see the minute thing. So the mind is not only difficult to see, it's so minute, so subtle. Sududdasang sunipuna. And the other thing that the Buddha said is yatha kama nipatina. This mind, nipata means land. Literally, nipata means land. Fall on. When the mind lands here, Then next second, it lands here. Go here, and few seconds, go here. Now I am looking at the microphone. Next second, somebody is coming at the door and knocking the door, and I look at the door and I start thinking about some faraway place. Oh, Sri Lankan member or Vietnamese member. So then I heard some news about Vietnam or Sri Lanka yesterday. Then my mind goes land about on that thing that I heard yesterday. Never stays at one place, constantly running around, going all over. When it is moving constantly, it is very difficult to grasp. It is very difficult to watch. Watch the mind is the one that we want. Difficult to watch the mind. I gave you an example yesterday. When you are mother or father at home with a 3 or 4-year-old child who is constantly active, there are some children who are pretty calm, but there are some children who are constantly running here, running there, pulling this out and throwing this and picking this up and, very fast moving. And now, as a mother or father, you are responsible about the protection of the child. If you don't watch the child, if you don't take care of the child, if you don't protect the child could do something that is very dangerous for the child himself, or it might damage someone else or something else that is very valuable in the house. So it is very important for you to watch the child 24/7 in this case. Until he goes to sleep, you have to constantly watch, and you know that. Why? If you don't watch, if you don't follow, if you don't see what is he doing, where is he going, he could run out to the street and get hit by a car, or he can pull some candle or fire that is burning and burn the whole house or something, and burn himself or something, and break a glass and cut himself. All these things can happen to the child if the child is not being watched, not being protected by the elders. So that is why every time when we go to work or something, if you have children at home who are always running around, you need somebody to babysit. That's why we spend a lot of money on babysitters, because it's very important to protect the child. Protect the child from danger. Now the word protect is important, no? Chittang rakheta medhavi. Rakheta means protect. Araksha karna. Rakheta means protect. Constantly watch where it goes. What is he doing? What is your mind doing? Where is he going? What is he telling you to do? Is this a good idea? It's a bad idea. So if you don't watch, it could create a lot of damage. If you don't watch the mind can cause a lot of damage to yourself and people around you and the properties and other things. Rakheta medhavi. Now, do we protect the mind just like we protect our child? No. When the child is around, and even when you are busy with cooking or doing something, you still keep an eye on the child. because he could hurt himself easily or do something. So therefore, even when you are so busy with so many other things, even when you are talking with your guest, one eye is always watching the child while you are talking to your guest. Because that little moment that you are spending time with your guest may be enough to create great danger for the child himself or to the property or other things. So therefore, you are constantly watching the child, meaning protecting the child. If the child is going to touch the fire, you immediately run to the child and pull that child away from the fire. Why? You don't want that child to be burned. So you protect the child. If he's going to fall on the steps, and now next few seconds the child is going to fall, and you see it, and you stop everything that you do to prevent the child from falling off the steps. That is called protection. But do we protect our mind, who is running all over, creating so much danger to yourself and your family members and your properties? Do we protect our mind? No, we don't. We don't protect the mind like we protect the little baby or little child. 3-4 years old, constantly running around and very difficult to control. You constantly follow and guard the child. Just like that, we don't do the same thing to our mind, which could cause so much damage to oneself and our friends and family members. What one other person do? Protect the mind. Who is that person? Chittang rakheta medhavi. Medhavi means a wise person. Person who is alert about what is going on in you and around you. That's a medhavi. Wise person is alert about the child, about what is going around in the house, what is going around in yourself, inside you. That's a wise person. Unwise person may be paying attention to the little child. If you are not that smart, you don't even pay attention to the child to protect him from danger. So the little child get into all kinds of trouble. And then you will get arrested by the police for child abuse. That kind of things can happen. Now, sududdasang sunipunang yattha kama nipatinang. Just like this little child is also same. Our mind is also here in 1 second, next second, somewhere else. Your child is in the kitchen in few minutes later, few seconds later, he's in the living room. Another few seconds later, he's outside of the door. Another few seconds, he's going out of the gate. Constantly moving, right? That's a child. And our mind is like that. Wise parents do protect the child. Unwise parents don't pay too much attention to the children, what they do and how they do things and what they are going to do. unwise parents don't pay attention too much, because when you're unwise, not too smart, then you can see what is going to happen in the next few minutes. If you are smart, you can see, okay, the child is going to fall, and if he's fallen, he could break his ankle, or he could break his hand, and then I have to take him to the hospital. Then my whole plan for the day or for the week will be ruined, and they all see that, and because of that reason, they pay very close attention to the children to protect the damage. Most other thing is that you don't want the child to be hurt, and he's going to get hurt, and he will be in pain. He or she will be in pain for next 2 weeks. He will be in a cast for next 2 weeks if he fall, and I don't want him to fall. When you climb up a tree or something, you constantly watch. Rakheta, Medhavi, wise person, Chittang Rakheta. Fairly a good mother, good father, protect the children, protect the house, protect your work and other things. But same wise, smart mother or father have no interest on paying attention to the mind, which is very crucial. If the mind is not taken care of, it could ruin your whole life. And if you are smart, you can see if my mind does this will happen, I'll be in jail for 10 years, which I really don't want. So therefore, calm the mind, protect the mind, and don't do what the mind is trying to make you do. So that is a smart way to think. So the Buddha has given so much emphasis on refining the mind, protecting the mind. Rakheta. Just like the mother would protect her only child. This is a Metta Sutta. In the Metta Sutta, Mata Yatha Niyam Puttang Ayusa Eka Putta Manurakke. Rakke means protect. The mother would protect the child, only child. Ayusa, even more than your own life. Mata Evampi sabba bhutesu manasang bhavaye aparimana. This is also exercise the mind. Bhavaye means exercise the mind to protect not only your child, but also all the other people in the world, other beings. Mata yatha niyam puttang ayusa eka putta manurakke evampi sabba bhutesu. All beings. Manasang bhavaye aprimana. Manasam means same as the chitta that we are talking about. Manasa means mind, and the chitta is the mind. And I said chitta can be emotions, chitta can be thoughts, chitta can be thinking, chitta can be mind, whatever you want to call it. So then manasa is the same. So why are we saying this? Because if the mind is not protected, you become very selfish. Certain mothers, there are very rare, that type of mothers, who are not even paying enough attention to one's own children. But in this case, if you are a mother, naturally you protect the child above your own life. See, that's what the Buddha said in the Metta Sutta. Now, this is about our mind, how important it is to protect. Why it is not protect? When the child is going here, going there, child get very easily hurt, and therefore you need to protect. And the mind is also going here, going there, trying to do this, trying to do that, and you get hurt. Many people get hurt, like someone like Hitler. I just was reading a little section that came up in the news or something. So his mind was not taken care of, and he let it go by itself, the way that just like the child is running around anywhere he wish, anywhere he want to go, this Hitler's mind was going any direction that that mind wants to go. So you can see the damage that was done in that history. And you can see that kind of things everywhere in the world. If the mind is not well taken care of, the damage that a person with that mind can do to the world is unthinkable. Therefore, look at the Buddha. The Buddha was the person who's completely refined the mind and brought so much wisdom to the whole world, but everybody in the world can use that knowledge and bring peace and happiness and joy to millions of people. It happened last 2,600 years. Many people even became fully enlightened. Why? Because they have refined the mind up to the highest level. So, why? Chittang Guttang. Why you need to protect the mind? Now the next line, see when the Buddha speaks, it's so amazing. 4 lines in the Dhammapada. Nahi verena verani, sammanti the kudachana, averena cha sammanti, esa dhammo sanantano. This is an eternal law. But if you try to fight the head with fight, it never stops. So 4 lines, very important, major point. Now look at this gatha. Durangama, no. Sududasang sunipunam, yatta kama nipatinam. Explain the nature of the mind in 3 words. Sududasang sunipunam. Yatta kama nipatinam. Go here, go there, go there, go there. Move from here in a matter of seconds. Yesterday I gave you the example of a bee. You can look at the bee who is looking for flowers and nectar from the flowers, and he goes here and then go up there and then go down there and then go up a little bit and then go to one flower and try to land there, and he doesn't land there and go to the next flower, and he thinks it's a good flower and he land there and he take a little nectar here and there, and then he go to the next one, go here, go there. Now, if I gave you the example of a bee, that how the mind is moving from one place to the other, but this bee is, compared to the mind, is so slow. But the mind compared to the bee is 1,000,000 times faster. Boom, 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 like that. Going from this to this to this to this to this, from one place to the other. Right now it is here in few seconds it is in far away in England or something. And if you close your eyes and see where your mind is going, and you will be amazed that where it lands. Sometimes it lands on images that you have never thought before, never seen before. Even when you see a dream, you can see that you see the people and the places and things and the incidents that you have never seen or imagined in your whole life. But in the dream, it is coming to your mind. When you are daydreaming, it is the same thing. In the dreams, you can see so many weird things that you have no idea where it is coming from. But in the daytime, also, our mind constantly land on those kind of situations and incidents and images. So this is, you can see for yourself. Chittang Guttang, why Buddha is telling you Chittang Rakheta Medavi, wise person, protect the mind, take care of the mind, watch the mind. Why? Chittang Guttang, Gutta means protected. Mind that is protected, Sukha Vahang, bring you happiness. That also means, this means mind that is protected bring you happiness. That also implied mind that is unprotected bring you a lot of frustration and fears and worries and suffering. This is how the great mind like the Buddha's mind work. Sududdasam, Sunipuna, Yattha Kama Nipatana, three major characteristics of the mind that we have no idea, we don't pay attention to at all. Buddha had paid clear attention and he's telling you, look at your mind. It's very difficult to see and very subtle, constantly moving, and we don't know what the next thing that this mind is going to do because it's so subtle, right? And it's constantly moving. That bee is moving from the flower to the flower, and then is going to one flower, land there, and then he decided not to land and he moved to another flower and things like that. But how fast our mind is moving compared to the bee. You can look at the bee and see where he's going. What is he going to do next? But can we do the same thing with our mind? Can we see what the mind is going to do next? No, not at all. Why? We are not sharp enough. We are not medhavis. We are not smart people. We are not insightful people. He has a lot of insight, means he's very smart. He has a lot of insight, means he's very wise person, right? Medhavi. So, what are we supposed to be as Buddhist? To be insightful. Outside, we have a basic idea what is going on around us, nearby. In Sri Lanka, maybe what is happening, in Vietnam, what is happening, in Washington, D.C., what is happening. We have a fairly good idea because we watch the news and try to learn outside, what is happening outside in the world, what is happening in Afghanistan and places like that, we know. And what is happening with the COVID, where it is growing, where it is better, calming, and see, we know. But do we know what is going on inside you? We don't know. Why? Because we have never cultivated the tool. This eye and the ears are good about finding out our environment and our surrounding. But to see ourselves, there's another tool in our mind that is called mindfulness, called sati. It's part of the brain that you can cultivate. You know, when you have your computer, part of the computer, you install this new part. The purpose of that part is to watch what is coming in and what is going out of the computer. What is coming into the computer, what is going out of the computer. This little part can observe everything. That's called virus scan, right? You install that into your computer, and that little part can warn you if something bad is coming into the mind, or protect you and hold it. And if it has come in, that little virus scan even can kill that virus that came into your computer. You can do all that. The one part of the computer is watching the other part of the computer. Now, sati is exactly same as the virus scan of the brain. Buddha is the first one to find out that there is such a faculty. I call it a faculty. Like a faculty means, in today's word, app. There's one app in your brain. When it is activated, can observe the other part of the brain activities, mental activities. What is coming in, what is going out, how it is going to affect you, and all these things are being observed, being monitored. This is called the monitor. The mindfulness that Buddha discovered, called sati, in the Buddha's word, is a monitoring system of your own mind. The wise person has cultivated this existing part of the mind that you receive as a human being. When you are a human being, trihetuka birth, you have this deva, may be able to have this device called mindfulness. Pretas may not have that device. Animals, some smart animals may have that device, but I don't think so. Because this animal, the tiger or the lion or the snake or even the cockroach, has no idea, maybe, what his mind is thinking. But as human beings, we can watch. While we are thinking, other part of our mind can watch what we are thinking. See, that is just like that virus scan is part of the computer now, but other part of the computer he can watch, the virus can watch. Same thing about the sati, mindfulness. We have it. Why we have it? As a human being, when you are being born as a fortunate human being, for example, there are unfortunate human beings who are born with bad karma, like people whose mind is not functioning properly, whose physical organs are not functioning properly, but he's a human being. It doesn't mean that just because he is a human being, if his brain is not working well, if his body's parts are not working well, eyes is not working well, eye faculty or ear faculty is not working well, they are human beings, but they are missing a lot of things of the human beings, good human beings. So this is also one more important thing for us to think on a full moon day like today. How lucky we are who is listening to Dhamma of the Buddha's teaching, because we are not born only as human beings, we are born with all the important organs fully intact, fully functioning. Our mindfulness is functioning, our thinking abilities functioning, our reasoning is functioning, our eyes and ears and these fingers and all these are functioning. So we are very lucky to be born as complete human being and still be able to listen to the teachings of the Buddha is a great combination. That's what we have, Dullabancha manusattam buddhu padocha dullabo. Being born as a human being is so amazing and so rare. And buddhupadocha dullabo, a rising of the Buddha is extremely rare. And how lucky are we now? Because we have this both situation at one time. That means we are able to listen to the teachings of the Buddha and refine our mind and refine our lives to the fullest, because we are being born as smart human beings. Smart means not very smart, but slightly smart. We can at least understand what is right and wrong, because we have learned those in the past, I think. Now we are born, we know what this is a right thing to do, this is the wrong thing to do. You see the little insect and you don't, even the little child know that don't smash the animal, because he has a life just like my life. So that child want to protect the little insect and let him go freely, because that's a smart child. So smart in the sense that he is smart enough to know the basics. Now we can hear the teaching and pay attention to the teaching, that there are so many other people who are listening to this Dhamma talk has no interest, that they are listening to something very important that came out of the mouth of the Buddha, instruction of the Buddha about our lives, how to protect our lives, just like the mother would protect the child from danger. And I need to protect myself. To protect myself, I need to protect my mind. How many of us think like that? Not too many. Not too many. And no, these are not taught in any part of the world in this way, very focusedly. If you have been born as a Buddhist, or if you happen to be a Buddhist, if you get exposed to Dhamma, even at age 30, 40 something, and you happen to see how wonderful is the teachings of the Buddha that you have never heard before, you were never exposed to before, you never learned from your parents, your grandparents, you never learned from your church, your temple. Now you are lucky to hear it at 30, at age 30. Some people are like that. When they find out the Buddha's teaching, they will be they become so amazed and they become so sorry about themselves for not knowing this earlier. Look at our children, Dharma school children, at least they hear this and prepare their mind to hear these words. Sudu dasang suni punang yatta kamani patinang, these words sounds familiar to them because in the Sunday school, some of them they memorize. When we were little, 10 years old and 12 years old, we memorized these gathas. Sudu dasang suni punang yatta kama nipatenang chittang rakketa medavi chittang guttang sukavahang. So I memorized this when I was 10, 12 years old. And how many of our people in the world had that kind of opportunity to get the cream of wisdom, cream of knowledge of the whole universe, not only in the world, in the whole universe. That is why devas come to see the Buddha and ask questions and learn from the Buddha, because they are in the universe up there, right? And they come to the Buddha and ask the Dhamma, ask about the Dhamma, learn the Dhamma. So that is what is important. Now, yesterday I gave a suggestion. Now, to cultivate mindfulness, Buddha had given so much information. This is how you exercise this part of the brain. The Satipatthana Sutta is a long sutta that teaches you step by step how to cultivate your mindfulness. And there are so many other suttas are teaching about the importance of mindfulness, importance of practice of mindfulness. And in Sri Lanka and Thailand and Burma, there were generations of meditation centers where you can go and sit down and exercise, just like gyms today. Today we have gyms everywhere, right? Just like that, there were meditation centers everywhere nearby in your area. Why? You exercise the brain, exercise the mind, and cultivate this. When you exercise in the gym, to cultivate this particular muscle, you have a machine or you have an exercise, then you cultivate this muscle. And any other muscles in your belly is too big, and there is a special another exercise to train your belly to be flat and nice and all that. And that's a gym today. But those days, we had meditation centers to train the mind. I'm constantly getting angry and making my life difficult, making the life of my family difficult because I'm getting angry and so unfortunate. So then you go to the meditation center to exercise this part of the brain, that anger side. To reduce the anger, I need to exercise this part of the body. What do you have to exercise? Metta. I exercise metta. After exercising metta in the meditation center for several months, you go in and out maybe, just like you go to the gym and in and out. You practice metta meditation for few weeks, few months, or few years, and then you completely free from all type of anger and hatred, completely go out of your system. That's something that Buddha encouraged you to do, to train the mind and train your emotions. And there are millions of emotions, but Buddha condensed into few emotions, like 4 emotions. Anger and cruelty. You really feel like hurting somebody. Even the word that you say is to hurt the other person. That's cruelty. Our friends say things like that on the phone. And I know that this person's mind, the intention is to hurt the other person on the other side of the phone. That's cruelty. That's cruelty. Verbal cruelty, physical cruelty, and all kinds of cruelty. This is an emotion, no? Cruelty is an emotion. That emotion makes you do something. That things is to give pain to someone, physical or mental. Cruelty is giving pain to someone else, physically or verbally. That's cruelty. That's another emotion. Hate, I said, anger, that part of the emotion, cruelty, and then third one, jealousy. Constantly jealousy. When somebody is doing better than you are, then you are jealous and you want to destroy that person and give them frustration and fears and so many things that they do to ruin the life of the other person who is doing well or better than you. So just like the Cinderella's story in that case, right? That mother-in-law or some auntie, the stepmother, and things like that. That's another emotion. We all have this emotion all the time. Jealousy is always there. We don't even know why. We don't look at it. It is hard to see. The Sududasa. And then what is it there? And you always take sides. It's I'm Republican, you are, the other party, right? Democrat. And I am white and you are black. And I am smart and you are not smart. I am educated and you are not educated. I am wealthy and you are not wealthy. Constantly discriminate people and be attached to your groups. Be attached to your groups means you favor to your type. I am a 49er and you are a Bronco. So I am attached to my people that I think is 49ers and I hate the other groups, right? That's how it works. That's constant discrimination and constant favoring one side. That's an emotion that we go through all the time. So Buddha condensed into 4 emotions. In the Salleka Sutta, Buddha mentioned amazing number of emotions that even the Western world may not have that kind of collection of emotions at one point. Sometimes I ask the students to write down all the emotions that in the West, and they write down this. But if you look at the Salleka Sutta, it's in the Majjhima Nikaya. You type up on the Google, Salleka, Sallekha, Salleka Sutta. It has listed all kinds of human emotions that we go through. And Buddha is suggesting, okay, this you should not have. This you should not have. This you should not have. How do you not have it? By practicing it. Don't practice. Practice hard not to have this emotion. Practice hard not to this emotion. So we go to the meditation center, practice metta, anger is gone. And most of the time, because anger is gone, jealousy is also gone. Right? Cruelty is gone. Anger is causing cruelty. Cruelty is gone. One meditation take care of all the negative emotions, harmful emotions. So, mindfulness we are talking about now. Now, we had so many meditation centers to train you to be a Medavi. Chittang Rakheta Medavi, wise person, insightful person with mindfulness, person who is capable of enlarge the thoughts, enlarge the mind that is running here and activities of the mind. Enlarge means Microscope is enlarging things that are subtle. Remember, Sudu Dasang Sunipunam, very subtle thoughts constantly running. You can have the expand the microscope or the telescope or something, then you can see everything 1,000 times enlarged. Sududdasang, difficult to see because it's so subtle, but now you can see it. Why? Because you have the microscope to watch your mind. Microscope to watch all the little things, cells and things like that. That is external. There's an internal microscope that you can develop to see the difficult to see thoughts. Difficult to see thoughts that constantly arising in your mind, or you can say constantly going from one place to the other. Now I am thinking about Sri Lanka, now I am thinking about in the kitchen, now I am thinking about lunch, it goes here, it goes there, now I am thinking about tomorrow's work, just like that, constantly. But if you have the well develop microscope to watch your thoughts where it is going, you can easily see for yourself. And then if you can see it, you can catch it, just like you catch your child before he fall off the ground, on the ground. So before he burn his hand, you catch the guy, the little boy, because you can see. Now, in the mind itself, also it's the same thing. If you can see with the mind using the microscope called mindfulness, sati, that is cultivated means we have it, but we need to cultivate, make it efficient. That faculty is not efficient enough in regular people like us. Then you go to the meditation center, that is the gym, and you exercise, and then you become, your mindfulness become more efficient, and that efficient mindfulness you use to watch the mind, just like you watch your own little child to prevent danger. So when we cultivate mindfulness, now is the time, 10:30. That was yesterday's Dhamma talk. But I want to give you an exercise, because you don't go to the meditation centers too often and you don't sit down and meditate too much. This is my advice for all of you. Whenever nobody's around, you sit in your couch or your chair, or lie down on your bed, or whatever you are doing, even in your coffee table, drinking tea, you go like this and pay attention to what is coming into your mind. What is coming into your mind constantly? You can see, oh, this came into my mind. Or in other words, my mind landed on this. Start thinking about this. Start thinking about this. Start thinking about this. This is amazing. I never thought about this yesterday, but it came to my mind now. So 15 minutes a day, you sit down when nobody's around, peacefully, and see the pattern of your mental activities, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. You constantly keep watching. When a good mother is taking care of the baby, wherever the baby is going, the mother would always follow the baby, because you don't want the baby to have a accident in the next room. So you go to the next room with the baby. Just like that, you follow the mind Where it goes, you keep following that. You are exercising your mindfulness also at the same time. You keep watching your own mind 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. See how it is working, and you will be so amazed the kind of junk that is your mind is landing on. That, in other words, coming into your mind is another way to say it. But the B is landing. Remember, our mind is going landing here, landing there. My mind is now landing in Colombo, Sri Lanka. My sister's home. Something at my temple. So my mind is landing, right? So just like that. Also, you can say it is coming into my mind. Either way, that is how it works. So you watch and you will learn about your emotions, your feelings, and by learning that, you learn about yourself. If you know about yourself, it's a wonderful thing to happen, because if you don't know about yourself, you are the most ignorant person in the world. And you don't want to be the most ignorant person in the world, but you try to be a wiser person who knows about oneself, yourself, which is very important, no? So this is being a Buddhist. Being a Buddhist means being aware of who you are and what you are going to do next, and should that be good? Is that good? Is that going to be good for yourself or for others? Then you see all these things because you are aware of yourself while your mind is in operation. You follow your mind. Try to do this for several months. Every time when you have a time, you sit down, as I said, any place that you like and comfortably, and try to look at the different type of thoughts, emotions, feelings, whatever arise in your mind. Follow the thoughts. Follow the thoughts just like the mother follow the baby. You follow the thoughts, and you will see so many unnecessary thoughts are occurring, and useless and meaningless and unbeneficial and beneficial maybe sometimes are happening in the mind, and you can get a very good idea about the motor that is operating you. Motor is the mind, and you are a human being who is constantly doing things using your sensory organs and using your body, and motor is the one that make all these things happen that you do. That's a mind. So you get to know your motor, and you may even get a much better control, if you want to use the word, much better control over your motor, over yourself. So this is the message for today, and we take a short break now. And before that, by listening to the Dhamma, carefully you learn few things, but all these things I said is only giving you ideas to think for yourself and expand, because in a 1 hour Dhamma talk we can give so limited amount of information, but that information is very important because you give all the ammunition for you to think and expand what you heard. Buddha said only 4 words, right? 4 lines. Sududdasang sunipunang yapta kama nipatinang chittang rakketa medavi chittang guttang sukavahang. 4 lines. very finish, very short. But there's so much meaning to it. So you see for yourself and expand on the Dhamma that you learned during this 1 hour of Dhamma talk. And that's how all beings became enlightened at some point, became free from all suffering by the same pattern, same method that we are doing. We listen to Dhamma and we expand it for ourselves. Sunata, Dharita, Charata, we follow them and we live up to it, and then we gradually become more happy and peaceful and become free from frustration and fear and suffering that we always experience. With these thoughts in our mind, Dhamma talk will be concluded. So let us share the Dhamma. Let us share the merit with all our family members and relatives, because listening to Dhamma is a very important practice of good karma. So we share the merit. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Let's share the merit with all the devas. Ittavata ca amhehi sambhitaṁ punya sampadang. Sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata ca amhehi sambhitaṁ punya sampadang. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata ca amhehi sambhitaṁ punya sampadang. Sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. In few minutes we come back and we have a short meditation session, 10:15 to 11. 10:45 to 11:15, not about 30 minutes meditation, and then we have the offering to the Buddha at 11:15, and then we take a break and come back. Now we continue the program, and please come back at 10:45 in few minutes, like 5 minutes. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again.
After the Dhamma talk, we practice like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that meditation. You know, you are a regular practitioner, therefore you know about meditation. Meditation, it is not required you have to learn every day something new for practicing meditation. Only thing is you have to practice what you know. That means there are many kind of meditation object. You listening Dhamma talk, you reading, and you gathered a lot of tools of meditation. I believe that you have enough tools for practice meditation. That means that you have enough knowledge for practicing meditation. For now, we need to use that tools. If you are carpenter or if you are mechanic, or you need to have some tools for working. You gathered new tools every day, but if you don't use that tools and not work with that tools, your tools is useless. Therefore, for today, I don't want to explain too much about meditation, how to practice meditation, what you want to practice. I don't want to explain too much. Just I ask you to, you have enough tools, and using that tools, practice meditation and develop your mind. And because especially today you are observing 8 precept, 10 precept, some are observed 8 precepts, some are observed 10 precept. Therefore your verbally action and bodily actions are clean. Now you want to focus your mind to clean that or develop your mind. So we practice silent meditation. Sit comfortably and focus your meditation object, whether you practice breathing meditation, or if you feel tired, you can practice walking meditation. Or if you like to practice metta meditation, loving kindness meditation, you can practice that too. Or whatever easy meditation object for you. Easy means when you practice in meditation, if your mind is calm down or concentrate, or that the suitable meditation object for you. Some people, they are very familiar with the breathing meditation. Some prefer to practice loving kindness meditation, or some prefer to practice walking meditation. Whatever you familiar, just start to practice with me, like until 11:10 or maximum 11:15. Sit comfortably and focus your mind to your meditation object. Yes, then start practice meditation. If it is very difficult to focus your mind, don't angry with your mind, take it easy and observe or mindful that what kind of thought around in your mind. And if it is wandering, don't worry and don't angry with your mind. Just take it back to your meditation object and continue. Now we are getting ready for offering Buddha Puja. In your home, if you prepared something to offer to the Buddha, now you can get ready for it. And in few minutes, like 2-3 minutes, we start the Buddha Puja. Itipiso bhagava arahan samma sambuddho licca charana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manussanang buddho bhagavati itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vidyacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manussanam buddho bhagavati Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vidyacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta deva manussanam buddho bhagavati. Now you can recite Gatha with us for offering to the Buddha Puja. Join with us.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vidyacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati Satta deva manussanam buddho bhagavati Swakhato bhagavata dhammo Sandittiko akaliko ehi passiko opanayiko Paccattam veditabbo viññohiti Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samīti patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yugani atta purisa puggala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo anuttarang punyakhetang lokassati Vandami cetiyang sabbang sabbatane supatitthitang Saririka dhatu mahabodhing buddha rupang sakalang sada Yassa mule nisinnova sabbari vijayannaka Patto sabbanyutang satta vandetang bodhipadapang Ime ete mahabodhi lokanatena pujita Aham pite namassami bodhiraja namattute ඝනසාරප්ප
Paditena
දීපේන තමදං සිනා තිලෝකදීපං සම්බුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුදං සුගන්ධිකාය වදනං අනන්ත ගුණගන්ධිනා සුගන්ධිනාහං ගන්ධේන පූජයාමි තථාගතං වන්න ගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම සන්තතින් පූජයාමි මුනින්දස්ස සිරිපාද සරෝරුහේ පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ච හෝතු මොක්ඛං පුප්පං මිලායාති යතාහි ධම්මේ කායෝ තථායාති විනාශ භාවං අධිවාසේතු නොබන්තේ පානීයං පරිකම්පිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්නාතු මුත්තම අධිවාසේතු නොබන්තේ භෝජනං පරිකම්පිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්නාතු මුත්තම අධිවාසේතු නොබන්තේ ගිලාන පච්චයං ඉමං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්නාතු මුත්තම කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්චයං කමමේ බන්තේ බුරිපඤ්ඤ තථාගත
We offer Buddha Puja in the verbally and mindly and action, bodily, verbally and mindly. We offer to the Buddha Puja. We accumulate a lot of merit. From morning to now, you practice dana, sila, bhavana. That means the most meritorious deeds. And now we finish the morning session. Monks go to have lunch, and you also have your lunch. And after that, 1:15 we join with again in our YouTube channel. We terminate our live cast now. Then we start again 1:15 in California time. In 1:15, the Dhamma talk in Sinhala language. Venerable Santarakita Mahatero, he's doing the Dhamma talk in Sinhala language. Dharma Desanaava Sinhalen Santa Hamduran Wahanse විසින් සිද්ධ කරනවා 1:15ට. අපි නැවත 1:15ට හමු වෙමු. හැම දිනාටම තෙරුවන් සරණයි. May we have good health, happiness, peace in mind. See you 1:15.